So I just took my ATI TEAS 7 exam about a couple hours ago, and I just wanted to go over everything that I believe that you need to know, what I experienced, things like that. So let's go ahead and get into it because, yeah, someone did this for me, and I definitely want to pay it forward and do it for anyone else that's a future test taker. So basically, as you know, you have your four sections. When you start your exam, you start off with the reading section. Basically, it's your comprehension. It tells you to read certain passages, describe them. It points out to basically what's the theme, the tone, the topic, the main ideas. It does have sections to where it's kind of like, summarize this, things like that. Then it kind of splits off into reading recipes, reading, certain data tables, things like that, like nutrition, like subheadings, headings, like how would you actually title something. So that one, it wasn't as if it was hard. It's just a lot of reading. So what I would suggest is timing yourself when it comes to taking the exams. I mean, the practice exams. I will say, when it comes to the practice exams, the only ones that I believe are beneficial for these are the official ATI TEAS practice exams. If you're gonna get anything, get those practice exams because it's the exact same format as far as what you're going to expect on the actual official ATI's test. It's the exact same format. On the practice exams, the math and the science is actually way harder than what it is on the exam. I will say the level of difficulty for the science is what you can kind of expect on there, but the math part, super easy. But I'm going to get into that. I'm getting into it now. So the math section is very basic. It's your PEMDAS, solving for X. It had a few conversions on there, solving for a circumference. The main thing was solving for X. It was, what else was it? It was basic percentages. So it was like, gratuity, things like that, like as far as calculating your paycheck, stuff like that, like things that you do every single day. Now, what I will say is in this section, because it seems so easy, I think I got like an 80 something % in this section. Definitely go back and check your work. If you can, please go back and check your work because that's where I kind of messed up at because I was looking at it like, this is kind of simple. It was simple, but definitely go back and check your work. The only thing, because with this section, you'll probably have like at least 10, 15 minutes to go back and like go through it again. So definitely double check your work. Then you get into the science section. It's manageable, but it definitely does require some form of prior knowledge, or not even prior knowledge, but studying. I will say that it is manageable though. It was kind of, some of them were just like, okay, what's this? What's the purpose of this? Where does this synthesize? Where does this hormone synthesize? What's the, protective portion of the lung, things like that. So it wasn't hard. It was more so like, it was maybe one or two things that I was kind of like, what? But it wasn't like extremely hard. But yeah, I will say, some people will say like, oh no, it was super easy, yada, yada, yada. I would say to each his own. I will say I took A&P 1, 2 and micro and chemistry. And I will say like, because I took it last year, it was a few things that I was like, but I will say, I keep saying that, right? There's that Quizlet out there. And I don't even want to say it like that as far as, there's multiple Quizlets as far as what you can reference. So go on Quizlet. There's people who have created Quizlets that I was able to like utilize. I just put in like T7 or whatever, and I was able to like use other people's Quizlets because obviously people have been testing before, right? The last portion was like the English language part. Please brush up on your punctuation, your commas, your quotations. Familiarize yourself with certain common prefixes. Like they had, not like re or anything like that. It was kind of like, one was like something like, or something like how you would say about anthropology, like what is, something like that. Like basically, kind of using your, I guess, context clues to try to figure out, what a prefix or a suffix means. The part that tripped me up was that part, and then yeah, the punctuation. You really have to pay attention to where the comma, where the periods are. If it's capitalized, not capitalized, they try to trip you up on those. So basically, turn into the editor of the year, the proofreader of the year, and just start really paying attention to it. Yeah, your grammar basics, like your adverbs, your verbs, and general grammar rules. Like stuff, it is elementary, but I will say we've been out of school for a while, right? Most of us haven't been in elementary in what, 10 plus 15 years or more. So definitely brush up on those things. The tips for me, what I believe your tips should be. I would definitely say the official ATI TEAS practice exams. Definitely use those, especially for the English and language. The science section wasn't as difficult as it was on the practice exam. The math section. The science wasn't extremely difficult either. It was kind of like a little less difficult than what it was. But yeah, so there's that. I used Brandon Craft for the math. Definitely use Brandon Craft. Definitely Nurse Chung as well. She her and her partner they have videos out there as well. The only reason why I say Nurse Chung for the math is because she actually has it just seemed like it was easier for me to follow. The Brandon Craft one was too, like, he's easy too, because he kind of makes it super. So both of them, I would use both of them for the math because it was super simple. I don't know. I think it was just my nerves were bad because it was timed and I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, what I would do is use the ATI TEAS practice exam and time yourself because that'll give you get you conditioned to exactly how it's going to be. Because yeah, what I will say in the official exam, what's going to happen is you start off and then exactly like how it is in the practice ones, you get a second to pause, not a second, but you get a couple minutes to pause in between before you go to the next section. So you can take a breather. It's not nonstop. Nurse Chung was good. The Quizlets out there were definitely good. I will say the breakdown of my, I got a 80% in my reading. I got 80 something percent in my math. I got 100% in my science, and my language, I think I got 76%. So like I said, the most tedious part was the reading and the language. And then the other ones were kind of in between. So if you have any questions, I guess even for the links, I will try to, get them out to you. But I would just say if it were, I'd probably, like I said, I would just look up T7 Quizlets and they're all out there. Yeah. So anyways, if you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll definitely do my best to answer them. I'm sorry that this ran a little long, but like I said, this is something that I wish I would have had because it was just I didn't know what to expect. And so these are the things you can expect. Yeah, so if you have any additional questions, let me know. Anyways, have a good day.